On the previous days, the Sayadaw touched on the purpose of the Satipatthana meditation practice. Unless we practice, develop the Satipatthana meditation, mindfulness, until enlightenment, we will definitely encounter the life of suffering. Sometimes good life, sometimes heavenly life, sometimes woeful life. So samsara, life and death, turning around and around. In Pali we call vata dukkha. So to be liberated out of this cycle of suffering, that's the turning around and around, we must practice, we must develop mindfulness. So when we develop mindfulness during the intensive meditation retreat like this, we may need to develop the four guardians meditation so that we can prevent possible impediment or fear or danger or any difficulties. Among the four guardians meditation, recollection of the Buddha was explained yesterday and last time in very brief. So throughout our lives, we rarely control our mind and body. And so mind and body are fragile and vulnerable and exposed to the danger or the mental defilements which pull us down into the lower life or the low quality of life. So because of these mental defilements or hindrances, we commit evil deeds. So committing evil deeds come from the active form of the mental defilements. This active form of mental defilements is actually arise or grow from the potential form or the dormant form of mental defilements. So in this way, we encounter suffering throughout the cycle of rebirth, life after life, until we overcome or eradicate all kinds of mental hindrances, mental defilements, along with its seeds or the latent or potential defilements. So that's why our Buddha or countless Buddhas or other Buddhas, they always encourage us to practice Satipatthana meditation or to walk this mindfulness path so that we can overcome, we can get rid of the ignorance or illusion. So the Buddha himself eradicated these mental defilements like greed, hatred, or attachment, delusion, illusion. So the Buddha was fully tamed, fully well disciplined, and fully polite. And also Buddha was very compassionate and wisdom. Because of compassion and wisdom, the Buddha gave Dhamma talk to us, the Buddha taught us. So in this way we can experience the Dhamma from our own experience. In this way we can be awakened out of illusion or delusion. So that's the way the faith in the Buddha gets stronger and then stronger and then becomes durable thanks to Satipatthana mindfulness meditation. If we practice mindfulness, we can experience its benefits, and then we can see the Buddha in person. So that's why the Buddha said, Dhamma passando man passati. Whoever see the Dhamma, see myself. If you see Dhamma, you can see the Buddha himself. By practicing or by learning or practicing, we can see the Buddha. Only when we practice can we see the Buddha. So if we want to see the Buddha in person, we have to practice Buddha's teaching. We have to develop mindfulness as the Buddha, as all the Buddhas expounded. So that's why Sayadaw touched on the Buddha's virtues and the Buddha's qualities in brief last time. So it is very important to uproot the dormant form or the mental defilements. In this case, we have to develop two kinds of things. First, knowledge or learning, or the practice. Knowledge or intellectual knowledge or the Dhamma, we have to learn Dhamma. In this regard, we must learn how to practice the Dhamma in a correct method. So correct method is something necessary for us to learn properly. And the learning alone, of course, not enough, not sufficient. We have to put it into practice. We have to put our knowledge into practice. Then only we can experience the benefits of the mindfulness or practice. Then only can we overcome the ignorance and the illusion. So to reach this goal, to accomplish this purpose, we must put great effort in the practice with a heroic effort. Otherwise, it is a waste of time. So to accomplish our goal, our purpose, there is a prerequisite for us to carry out. It is the mindfulness. We have to develop mindfulness as a prerequisite to experience the enlightenment or liberation. And by developing mindfulness, we all can become arhats, let alone Sotapanna or Sakaragami, the first stage enlightener or second stage enlightener. We can become fully enlightened by practicing Satipatthana meditation or the mindfulness meditation. So this is it is Satipatthana or mindfulness or development of mindfulness through which one can become fully enlightened or supremely enlightened Buddha or Pajjika Buddha, silent Buddha or noble person. So this is a really right path. We have to walk on this right path. If you walk this path eventually we will experience, we will reach our goal. We will accomplish our spiritual purpose. That is the ultimate peacefulness or Nibbana. So we must walk this noble path until we reach this ultimate peacefulness or Nibbana. So the mindfulness meditation or development of mindfulness is what the Buddha revealed or rediscovered and revealed to us. So we must practice, we must follow the Buddha's teaching according to the Satipatthana Sutta, even sacrificing our life and limb. So we must have faith in what the Buddha discovered. So regarding the benefits we can gain from this Satipatthana meditation, the Buddha said, monks, this is the certain way to purify all living beings of mental defilements. Development of mindfulness. By developing mindfulness, we can purify ourselves of mental defilements. There are 4 kinds of the objects to develop mindfulness: body, sensation or feeling, or mind, and Dhamma. Among these 4 objects, whatever is obvious, whatever becomes manifest, whatever is in the present, we must be mindful of them as they really are. So in this way we can experience Dhamma. Then we can appreciate the quality of Dhamma. This quality of Dhamma is, we call this the good in the beginning, Adi Kalyana. So for example, when we listen to the Dhamma given by the most venerable Sayadaw, if we pay full attention to the Dhamma talk and its topics, what he is teaching, and then there will be no room for sensual desire. There is no thought of what we want, sensual objects or sensual pleasure. Thus our mind can be pured of sensual desire, what we call Kamachanda. And then when we pay attention to the Dhamma, and there will be no room for Theravada, or that is aversion or hatred. And when our mind is fully focused on the Dhamma, and then we won't feel regret or remorse, or our mind is calm and peaceful, and no restlessness of mind or agitation. So these are immediate benefits we can enjoy from mindfulness. And when we really understand the Dhamma from listening or from our own experience, we will no longer have a doubt about the Dhamma, no skeptical doubt about the Dhamma and its benefit. Thus we can overcome the vicikiccha or the skeptical doubt about the Dhamma. So in this way we can overcome or we can purify our mind or ourselves of mental defilements or mental hindrances. Even just by listening or just by paying full attention to the Dhamma. So otherwise, mind is always defined with the mental hindrances or mental defilements. Mind is always tortured by mental hindrances. So mental hindrances or mental defilements make our minds or our mindfulness or wisdom weaker and weaker and fragile. So if we practice meditation or even just listening to the Dhamma, we can experience the benefits of the Dhamma. So that's why Dhamma is honored to be good even in the beginning. So we must have correct or true suitable purpose of the practice. It is to be liberated from the cycle of suffering. For this sole purpose, we must pay attention to the Dhamma given by Sayadaw. And by paying attention to the Dhamma talk alone, we can feel calm and peaceful, and we can experience the benefits of the Dhamma. This is the initial or the beginning benefit we can experience from the Dhamma. So that's why Dhamma is honored to be excellent even in the beginning. So that's why in Pali it is called Adi Kalyana. Dhamma is excellent even in the beginning. So during the Buddha times also, it is recorded that by listening the Dhamma talk given by the Buddha himself, or the someone or fellow meditator, if we listen to the Dhamma talk with the correct purpose or right purpose to be liberated from the samsara, we can find it to be pleasant to listen the Dhamma. Listening Dhamma itself is pleasurable. And then if we pay correct attention to the Dhamma, we can realize, we can appreciate the Dhamma. And then we can experience the taste of the Dhamma to some extent. So that's why the listening to the Dhamma with the full attention itself is pleasant, pleasurable, kind of pleasure. And if we experience the Dhamma, definitely it is great, excellent pleasure we can enjoy. It is the initial benefit we can gain from the Dhamma, listening to the Dhamma. So the Dhamma talk given by the Buddha himself is, of course, guarantee the benefits and happiness. It always brings us happiness. So by listening to the Dhamma, by paying attention to the Dhamma, we can purify our mind of mental hindrances. In the Buddha time, the Buddha's disciples, monks or nuns or lay people, they give Dhamma talk or Dhamma discussion. If someone listens or someone pays proper attention to their Dhamma talk with the purpose to be liberated from the cycle of suffering, then he or she can keep his or her mind away from mental defilements. He or she can feel tranquil and peaceful. Even by listening Dhamma talk, we can become peaceful and tranquil and away from mental hindrances. So there will be no room for sensual desire, kama chanda. When we pay attention to the Dhamma or Dhamma talk, we will not be lazy. Our mind is active and fresh, and there will be no sluggishness or sloth and torpor. And we listen to the Dhamma talk with a full faith. So we have no doubt, skeptical doubt. So mind is very clear and tranquil. So we listen to the Buddha's teaching. We can feel tranquility and peacefulness by listening to the Dhamma itself. So in this way, listening Dhamma talk, we can develop our knowledge. First of all, we can learn how to practice correctly, correct method or the practice. So if we have ever learned how to practice properly, we can make our knowledge clearer by listening Dhamma talk. So listening Dhamma talk alone can bring us a lot of benefits. So we should pay proper attention to the Dhamma talk. Listening to the Dhamma talk alone is bring us a lot of benefits and happiness. So even by listening to the Dhamma talk, we can keep our mind away from mental hindrances, and we can keep our mind peaceful and tranquil. Just imagine how peaceful or tranquil it will be if we can put our knowledge or learning into practice. How purify our mind become, or mental hindrances, if we can put our knowledge into practice. So if we put our knowledge into practice, definitely our mind pure or mental hindrances and mind become tranquil and peaceful. We can experience the Vipassana pleasure, Vipassana happiness, Vipassana sukha. So by practicing the Dhamma, we can experience the benefits immediately. So initially, by listening Dhamma talk, we can become tranquil and peaceful. And then later, when we put the knowledge into practice, we can experience real Dhamma sukha, happiness or peacefulness. So that's why Dhamma is honored as a Majji Kalyana, the Dhamma to be excellent in the mid too. So knowledge alone without practice cannot bring us happiness or peacefulness. So we must put our knowledge and learning into practice so that we can experience the benefits of the Dhamma. In Pali, Dhamma is described as Paccalika Dhamme Samediti Samato. So Dhamma is something that quiet the opposite phenomena. So for example, when we develop mindfulness, practically we have to focus our mind on the rising, falling or the abdomen. Although we say rising, falling, actually we are supposed to experience the phenomena involved in the rising, falling process. Rising, falling process is actually the characteristics of the air element. When we observe rising and falling, we can experience the air element in terms of its characteristics. If we are able to focus on the object, there will arise the concentration. Of course, in the beginning, it is impossible to see the real phenomena of the air element. So that's why we have to note rising, falling, using daily language. So we must make great effort to pay attention to the main object or the rising and falling. Heroic effort. So that's why this kind of effort is called atapa, the burning energy. The great effort must be put into the practice so that we can focus on the object. So we must be alert and active so that we can see the phenomena in the present moment. So for example, when we breathe in, abdomen rises. The moment abdomen arises, we have to note it as it is. We must make great effort to experience the present phenomena. And also we must pay proper attention to the object. We must focus on the object. We must pay proper attention to the object. Or we must aim at the object. So right aiming is also essential. First of all, we must make great effort to catch present object. And then aiming must be correct. We must aim at the object, the phenomena, what really happening. That's what we call vitaka, the right aiming. And we must keep balance between the too much effort or too weak effort. If we make too much effort, we may overshoot the object. If we make very little effort, we may not reach the object. So we must make the suitable amount of effort and a kind of great effort so that we can experience the phenomena in its present moment. So two factors, viriya, effort, and right aiming is very important. And then we must sustain our attention on the object. We call vichara. So when we walk in, for example, we must focus our mind on the foot. For example, we know rising or lifting, dropping, lifting, dropping. So every step, the mindfulness must follow from the beginning to the end. So our awareness must be concurrent with what really happening. So whatever is obvious, we must be aware of it as it is. When we lift, we must be aware of lifting. And we must be aware of what phenomena involved in the lifting. And when we drop it, when we drop our foot down and press it, we must be aware everything in detail so that we can experience the phenomena arising and passing away in the process of the lifting and dropping and pressing. So as mentioned earlier, there are four objects: body, bodily phenomena, sensational phenomena, mental phenomena, and Dhamma. Whatever among them is obvious, we must focus right away. We must make effort to pay attention to that object. And we must aim correctly to the object. So every moment, every second, we must be alert and active. Make effort to catch the present object and aim correctly at the present object. So this is a moment-to-moment awareness to develop. So we must be active and alert all the time, so that we can become aware of the phenomena the moment they become obvious in their present moment. Then only can we overcome laziness and sloth and torpor. So we must make great effort to be mindful of the phenomena that are obvious moment by moment. So this great effort is called virya. So if we are able to note, or if we are able to be mindful every second, so then we can develop mindfulness, 60 moments of mindfulness within 1 minute. In this way, we can develop mindfulness step by step. So in this way, we can purify our mind of mental defilements or mental hindrances. So in this regard, we overcome mental defilements, or we get rid of mental defilements, means we don't give a chance for mental defilements to take place, or we don't leave no room for mental defilements to take place. That's what we call eradication of mental defilements. So when we focus on the rising, falling, or the abdomen, and there will be no room for sensual desire. The moment our mind is fully focused on the object, mind is freed from the sensual desire. We won't think of something pleasurable, so we won't think of seeing something or someone pleasurable, or we won't think of enjoying the pleasurable sound or music. In this way, the moment we focus on the rising, falling, or the abdomen or meditative object, our mind become free from sensual desire. And also there will be no room for aversion or hatred or jealousy or envy or ill will. So the moment the mind is fully focused on the meditative object, mind naturally becomes peaceful and tranquil, as it is freed from mental defilements and hindrances. So as long as our mind is fully focused on the meditative object, like rising, falling, or the abdomen, mind is free from mental defilements or thought or evil thoughts. So when the mind is effectively experience the objects, as if it wrap the object or touch the objects, it experience the nature of the object effectively. The touching the object or the mentally or rubbing the object mentally is called vichara. So in this way, when the mind is, the moment the mind is fully focused on the meditative object, like rising, falling, or the abdomen, with the right aiming and right attention, right effort, and then naturally there arise satisfactions or happiness or joy. We call piti. So that's the nature. When the mind is fully focused on the object, naturally there arises happiness, tranquility and joy. Suppose, for example, a child may play with the ball. He hit with one ball to another. When the ball his ball hit to the another ball effectively, then he become happy. He will be really happy, even he will jump up. So in the same way, when we note the object, the meditative object, when we are able to become aware of the meditative object effectively, the happiness or joy naturally take place. It is very obvious, undeniable, indisputable. The moment our mind is focused on the meditative object, obviously there will be no room for mental defilement. When the mindfulness occurs, is always accompanied with the vitaka, right amen, or and effort, and rapture or happiness or joy. So in this way, so Dhamma is honored to be excellent in the mid. We call Majji Kalyana. So this is how Vipassana Sukha, Vipassana pleasure take place. So Sayadaw will continue these topics tomorrow. So now time is up. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.